And the saint is the angel man. Can you see him? His statue on top of the bridge. He's killing a dragon.
But behind me you can see what is left of the original East Mole concrete structure. This is the spot where the soldiers were evacuated. So you would have these soldiers here on the beaches queuing, waiting for their turn to evacuate. From time to time the German aircraft would arrive and they would strafe here the beach area, and the soldiers would have to run for their lives.
Vimy Ridge is important. It's part of the Battle of Arras. On the 9th of April, the Canadian Corps take the ridge in 2 days, something that hadn't ever been done during the Great War. And I think being there with basically over 20,000 Canadians, all of whom come for one reason, allowed everybody to make a connection with their roots. And I think it's the roots of individuals and it's the root of a nation. And therefore, although we weren't able to really see the battlefield that day, we went back to it. It was a way of getting into a mood of actually saying, this is about me, this is about my country.
They were Canadians, and they were valiant beyond measure.
You're going to go into what I would term a raw archaeological site. And just let your eyes adjust as you walk down. Here we've got a nice picture of a soldier on parade, just sketched in. Obviously people look down here.
This is the devastated zone. And you'll see that within it, there's a large numbers of cemeteries, the British cemeteries, Canadian cemeteries, but all over this battlefield were German cemeteries. And the French and the Belgians said, we want your cemeteries off our land. We want them gone. So what we're going to see here is a result of that. It's the only German cemetery in this area. And clearly what we've got here are crosses. Crosses are aluminium and they have on it the minimum of 4 names, supplemented by a mass grave, which is off to the left. I don't want to weigh you down with too many cemeteries. It does get a little bit depressing. A battle began on the 1st of July 1916 on the Somme. So every single one of the group stood basically in the footsteps of people who came from Britain and Canada, who then served on that battlefield.
To my father, this is my final message for you to read when I am dead. There'll be so little else. Perhaps the tale of a brother officer, how I fell, beyond that nothing. And therefore now beforehand I say farewell. There is no need of many words, but I want first to thank you as your son. You have been to me the best father a fellow could wish. For the gift of a powerful intellect and discerning mind, thank you. For the long years of self-denial that made my education possible, for the guidance and teaching that kept me straight in the days of my youth, for all the noble things in your example, and again, most earnestly, thank you. It's in the good cause that I lay down my life. All the things that I hold dear in life I willingly give up, since it is required of me. I'm proud and glad to have been one of whom Canada takes, one of whom in their bodies pays the price of her honour. And though in your heart there will be sorrow, you will also be proud, and you will not grieve over much. All good things unto you. May the coming years bring wider fields of service, honour and honourable work, strength and wisdom to perform it, and in the end peace and contentment and quiet rest. Your son, a soldier of Canada, salutes you. Farewell.
I think it's important to come here to honor the fallen and who have made our country free and everything. And it's just breathtaking just to be here. It's amazing and it's just a privilege to be here.
Definitely walking up to the monument and seeing I'm here. I can't believe this is actually a thing.
It's a lot bigger than what it seems in pictures.
You see a lot of Canadians, but there's also a lot of unknown soldiers.
You actually really get to have a perspective on how many were lost.
At Ypres we went to two separate museums. We went to the Cloth Hall Museum. It's about the horror of war and why it should never happen again. And the guys were fighting for a war to end all wars. We then went to a museum at Zonnebeek, which is about the kit, the stuff, what was used, the guns, the boots, the trenches, the dugouts. Ypres is about 1915. It's actually about the first gas attack, and we went to the spot where that happened.
We're here at Essex Farm, which is the site which inspired John McCrae, then a major, to write the poem In Flanders Fields. He was looking after the wounded, some of whom have died, and the disturbance of the soil meant that poppies sprouted, and that gave him the idea for the poppies growing amid the crosses. Stone tapes suggest that buildings record what goes on in there. Some buildings have almost no history, don't mean much. Other buildings can have a profound effect because of what they are. What would the stone tape here tell us? This area is Hill 60, so called because it is 60 meters high. Germans get here first. They take the high ground, and what follows, you will see as we go through, is the first mine warfare. This is where mine warfare begins under the spoil. That's a mine crater, that's a mine crater, that's a mine crater, that's a mine crater, and these are pillboxes, and if it makes you feel any better, they're both upside down. They've been blown into the air by mining. And the plan is the Operation Jubilee, and the idea is to do a raid, and picked to do it, available, waiting, keen to have a go, 2nd Canadian Division, 6,000 men hit the beaches within 5 hours, half of them are casualties. Total dead about 890, Canadian wounded about 550, Canadian prisoners about 1,800. It goes wrong. So we got 5 invasion beaches. But here we've got a very, very, very distinct position that sticks out. And here the Germans had put guns. It was neutralised. The guys get on shore, they capture it. It's what the Nazis would have called, the Germans in the First World War do the same thing. It's a moonscape, it's a moonscape. You can imagine it being almost devoid of cover, crater after crater after crater, and many of the structures are completely destroyed. You're now standing on the remains of WN62. WN62, 62nd strong point. And these strong points were designed for all-round defence. So here it is literally a matter of men and guts against defences, and the casualties here are greater than anywhere else on the 6th of June. D-Day is D-Day. It's one day, 7,000 casualties. What follows is a campaign which lasts really from 6th of June to August. The build-up and the breakout. The build-up and the breakout. And the breakout is Cobra 1.
I think it's really important that we remember what the soldiers did for us.
They fought so we could do this.
I think it's important to experience this for the younger generation because most people don't know about this. This shaped our world in ways we cannot imagine. It's very important to remember what happened here so that we can avoid this in the future.
Well, I feel like you can't cover it all when we're in class. Like when we're in history class, we learn quite a bit, but I think it counts for more to be there and to learn, like to be there and to see all of the things that where they were and how many people sacrificed.
What I like about it is the kids can actually put the actual place to the name and make it come alive. They've seen all kinds of pictures, but until you're here walking in the areas that our old boys and relatives, everyone on this trip has a relative of some kind that involved in the conflict.
of the opera takes place in this opera house. And to the right, the most famous hotel in Paris.